it stops here.
See a bully, stop a bully.
I'm dismayed that Gallaudet University is still a university of intolerance, a university that manages by intimidation, a university that allows bullying among faculty, staff, and students. The last few weeks have been a tremendously horrific time for myself and my family. It has been a week that we will never forget. I thought it was important that as a citizen of the state of Maryland that I could exercise my right to participate in the political process. I am pro-democracy. They have attempted to intimidate me. They have tarnished my reputation and my 24 years of service. My record at Gallaudet University speaks for itself, and I ask to be judged by what I have done. When I read President Hurwitz's email that he sent to the entire campus community, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, hurt, insulted. I was humiliated. Not only for myself, but for the students of Gallaudet University. They deserve better. They look to us for guidance, and we give them this. It is utterly wrong.
This situation right here is an example of how the whole argument of the gay community is all about tolerance and equality. That's a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of malarkey. And this is a great example of why that is true. The gay community are bullies. It's not about you tolerating their lifestyle or treating them equal. They want special treatment, kind of like other movements in society right now. It's this thing about you can't have your own opinion, your own personal ideology. You have to see things one way. You're not allowed to be an independent thinker. And that's truly disturbing, being that people talk about, the same people who talk about tolerance and acceptance will tolerate and accept every and anything except for you opposing their lifestyle, which is ridiculous. It's really about, like I said before in my video when I talked about when I did it a year prior to Obama coming out for gay marriage. I was predicted a year exactly almost to the date, but I said the same thing then. It's not about acceptance or tolerance or anything. It's about you seeing the world through their rainbow tinted glasses. And if you don't want to accept that, then your freedom of speech should be taken away from you. Your right to protest or to vote on certain issues should be gone. If you don't agree, then you need to go hide in the corner somewhere in a rock and don't say anything on this issue. Either you're with us or you're against us is their motto. So it's nothing to do with equality. It's everything to do with bullying and censorship and not allowing people to express their views and opinions that are different from others. This is a statement that the president of Gallaudet University released. I want to inform the community that I have placed Dr. McCaskill on paid administration leave, effective immediately. In recent came to my attention the snitch who came to master that Dr. McCaskill has participated in a legislative incentive that some feel inappropriate. What does what she did on her own time in her church have to do with anything? For individual service as Chief Diversity Officer. So they saying that because of her position as a Chief Diversity Officer, which she's been doing for 23 years, all of a sudden she's not competent to do that job anymore because she signed a petition privately in her church. Continuing. However, other individuals feel differently. Who cares how other people feel about what she did in her own church? I will use the extended time while she is on administrative leave to determine the appropriate next steps, taking into consideration the duties of this position at the university. In the meantime, the interim chief diversity officer will be announced in the near future. So this happened like instantly. Like, he didn't hold no bars. He just like, yo, she did what? All right, Angela, come to the office, go home, you get paid leave. How is that not discrimination? How could that possibly be accepted, that a person who's been doing a job for 23 years, no issues, no problems, helping people who have a disability, which it appears she has herself, she's the president, so she's damn good at her job, and she was let go because of, again, something she did in the privacy of her own church that's separate from state, which is separate from her occupation. Now, this is the thing I don't understand either. His argument, the president, was that because of her position as the president, her signing a petition of that matter might be a bad reflection on her position as her job. But the irony is, though, when President Obama got elected, he came out opposing gay marriage, and the gay community knew that. Of course, some didn't like that, and they were waiting for him to come out of the closet, pun intended, and tell the truth about how he really felt. But they still supported him, even though he openly denied it, which is no different than what she did in signing the petition. No, she hasn't said anything about how she feels about it. All she did was sign a petition. The President of the United States, who has a large backing of the gay community, openly said he does not support it. He thinks it should be between a man and a woman. And of course he changed his mind. But why is it okay for liberals to support him, give him money, and pick him as president, knowing he opposed their lifestyle prior to them doing that? And he was okay and fit to do his job as commander-in-chief with their support, even though he couldn't oppose their lifestyle. But this woman, it's not the president of the United States. She's the president of a program in a university. And people felt that she's not qualified to do her job because she did the exact same thing that the president did. Not necessarily the same thing. All she did was sign a petition. He has way more influence than she does. He openly said it out of his mouth. So why is it cool for him, no difference, for him to say it with their support, but she can't sign a petition? I don't see the logic in that. Out of curiosity, where are all the called black intellectuals? Where are all the Travis Smileys, the Melissa Harry, two last name Harris Perry? Where are all the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons? This is completely disgustingly discriminating. Yet the black community is not protesting her or fighting with her. She was lost her job. Not because of her skin color, not because of her sex, but because she signed a petition. Isn't that an infringement just on principle? Wouldn't that be a civil right issue? Where are they at protecting her, having her back? Susan Rice is not even nominated for Secretary of Defense, but there's already a coalition of black women protesting for her to be able to be nominated, even though she hasn't been nominated. Yet this happened months ago, and there's no coverage of this in the media. There are very few videos of this on YouTube even. When you click the articles, it's mostly just articles. Even when I was looking on the black websites who did post these, there's almost no comments. A couple stupid comments about she shouldn't have signed the petition. But where's the love for her? For all the pro-blacks? It's terrible. Just a quick correction. I cannot say that it was an actual church member who snitched on her. It was actually a faculty member, definitely. And I guess the amendment or the petition went public in the newspaper, and one of her coworkers saw her name in it, her address, and her signature in a bill that they call anti-gay petition, and the faculty member questioned her about it. Why are you in her business? Why are you asking her those questions? That's personal, but yet she was still asked these questions by someone who should have been minding her own business. The snitch who went to master. Now, when confronted by the faculty member, she said, yo, she signed a petition on the way out of church. Her husband, actually it was her husband who pointed to the petition, and she signed it. And she said it was just that simple, and gave it no further notice. The pastor had just preached on homosexuality, which is rare today because a lot of them are actually advocating for it, ironically. So I guess some churches still preach some type of truth. But she just signed it and kept it moving. Nothing of it. Then she comes to work, and one of her coworkers is grilling her on what she did in her own personal time that has nothing to do with her occupation or job. Apparently, this amendment did what it was supposed to do, and it got a lot of signatures, and it's where you get the question 6 in Maryland. And I guess that coworker didn't like that too much. So it's amazing how a situation like that turns citizens on other citizens, to where, you know, it only shows you in the end times when stuff gets really hot, how a person you could have worked with, broke bread with, because of something you believe, they'll snitch on you so hard, so easy. It's crazy. And that's where we're headed as a country. But there are many, many situations. She's not alone. There are many teachers, professionals, you know, who go through this. Students, universities are cock blocking hard on people's expression of opinion, when these are supposed to be places where that's where expression is learned and grown, when you do your own thing and you become who you really are going to be in life. And yet this university is practicing you know, using their platform and their power to bully people into being quiet. And that's just weird, because that's where people actually in the 60s and 70s expressed themselves and got out of that box of being silent and not saying stuff. But apparently you can say whatever you want to say. Again, you just don't have to oppose. You can't oppose leftist ideologies. This also does show you, though, how much organization and power the gay community does have. I mean, if you look at the situation with Obama, and they got him to do something that no president has ever done before. That's how much pull and power they have. And that's why I don't understand when people try to compare it to the whole civil rights issue, just for the one simple fact that, could you imagine if a white person was anti-interracial marriage, and he signed a petition at his church, and his co-worker saw it and went to their boss or the president and said, look who signed this petition. You think that that white guy would get fired because of a black person complaining that another person signed a petition against interracial marriage? Black people have never had that power to do that. Still to this day, they don't have that power. Yeah, the gay community does have that power to do so. It's ridiculous. They are pretty big bullies. The situation that happened with Chick-fil-A, and even though it seemed like Chick-fil-A caved in the end because they stopped sending money to certain groups, so they let the gay community dictate to them where they can give charity to. You know, that's terrible. But that just shows you, though, it's not nothing to do with equality or equal rights. It's about a worldview, and if you oppose that worldview, you know, you are their enemy. If you remember when Kirk Cameron, the guy who makes those horrible Left Behind movies, he was on that Pierce, the European dude show, and he simply stated what he had to say. And you go to The View, and you had Joy Blowhard speaking, talking about, why don't he just shut up? Why don't he just shut up? Why do liberals ask conservative people questions that they know the answer to, and then once they get the answer, they don't like it, they get angry and irate and they get mad and they want to call them names and tell them to just be quiet and go hide somewhere? You ask him the question. It's not like he went around saying, I oppose your lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. You ask and he tells you, gives you an answer, and you don't like the answer. So why do you keep asking if you know their answer already? Which is, I don't understand that. You know, obviously it's the way the media, the way they bully you and get you blacklisted, to get you see how he feels, see how he thinks, put you on blast in front of everybody, and try to get people to protest you and take away your livelihood and how you feed your family, how you make your money. That's, you know, it's terrible. The language and the words they use, because they keep saying anti-gay. And it's like feminists or pro-baby killers say anti-choice, when it's not really anti-choice, it's anti-killing babies. And this woman isn't anti-gay at all. She's opposes gay marriage. That does not mean you're anti-gay. That does not mean you want to bully or beat up gay people. It just simply, when it comes to the definition, you believe it should stand as it is, which should be her constitutional right to feel that way, or her own personal God-given right to say that much. But you have to definitely be careful about the wording and the language, because you can't let them put you into a category and say you're something that you're not. She's never revealed her opinion on the gay lifestyle at all, to no one. All she did was sign a petition. Although that university does have a large gay community, it does. The whole point of the university is diversity. But this is odd to me that it's wrong, and that's the argument that people are making, is that because of her position in her job where she works, she shouldn't be able to have opinions that separate herself from her job. Whatever. But this is the thing that's odd to me, is like, it's not okay to discriminate against a person because of their sex, race, or sexual orientation, whatever, right? But it is okay to discriminate a person against who opposes that lifestyle. So she can't be a person who thinks a certain way, working in a field that thinks differently. So you want to kick her out of that community. But if a conservative person who does oppose that lifestyle were to discriminate against her or anyone, that's wrong. So how is that right? How is that acceptable to discriminate against someone on one end and say that's wrong and it's illegal and it's not good, but on the other end, because of the position, the discrimination should be justified because of her environment? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Doing her job efficiently, can she have those opinions and personal ideologies and still do a great job, even though she's been doing this job for 23 years with no complaints, with no issues, with no drama? So wouldn't that, her track record, void all that nonsense? Wouldn't the way her students feel about her, no complaints, people wanting her back at her job, wanting her doing what she does best, wouldn't that alone be enough to say that argument is not a legitimate argument, because she has the respect of her students, probably some faculty other than the one that snitched on her, and other than the president who put her on leave?
Well, we don't know if that's true yet, Alderman Blevins.
Superintendent, I wish we were under better circumstances.
These circumstances should never exist. And you want me to stay quiet about the assassination of one of our community's leading citizens? Just put my concerns in the closet.
No, of course not.
I'll take the lead on any community relation duties you feel are necessary.
It's necessary you find who did this and find them quick.
It's a messy crime scene, Alderman, which means a lot of evidence. These are the kind we usually solve very quickly.
Detective Wasaki is taking the lead on the case.
It's very important to me and my constituency that we have a member of our community spearheading this investigation.
There's no need to worry. I got my partner working on this with me.
Good. Look, I'm not the biggest fish on the city council, but one thing about my community, Superintendent Colvin, we're affluent, educated, well-organized. We make change happen.
As a biracial woman living in the city, I understand what it is to not have your interests looked after, believe me. Right, I take hate crimes very seriously.
I hope so. Because trust me, if this case is not handled with the utmost respect and satisfactory results, I will focus all that change on you.